withdrawals were suspected to be in violation of the Money Laundering Prevention and Prohibition Act 2022. While the FCC spokesperson Dele Oyewale is yet to comment on the matter, ADC National Publicity Secretary Bolaji Abdullahi confirmed to the newsmen that three former governors, who are key leaders of the coalition, have been invited by the anti-graft body. Away from Nigeria, the death of a 1-month-old baby girl who was the victim of female genital mutilation, FGM, in the Gambian has sparked widespread outrage. According to police, the baby was rushed to a hospital at the capital, Banjul, after she developed severe bleeding, but was pronounced dead on arrival. Police said 2 women had been arrested for their alleged involvement in the baby's death. However, an autopsy is still being conducted to establish the cause of her death, and the people have linked it to FGM, or female circumcision, a cultural practice outlawed in West African states. Outside Africa, the European Council says the Ukrainian people must have the freedom to decide their future. This was contained in a letter to President Donald Trump ahead of his meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in Alaska on Friday, wherein Hungary, all the other 26 leaders of EU members states would welcomed Trump's efforts to secure peace in Ukraine, but warned him of the war hit nation's inherent right to choose its own destiny. Recall that Trump played down the possibility of a breakthrough in Alaska, but said he expected constructive conversation with Putin. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky had earlier warned that Vladimir Putin would try to trick Donald Trump during the meeting, while appreciating the US president's determination to stop the death in wars. Team is working with the United States on a single thing on communication for peace. We understand Russia's intention to try to deceive America. We will not allow this. I greatly value the determination which President Trump is committed to bringing an end to the killings in this war. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky speaking there. In the United States, Washington Mayor Muriel Bowser has bemoaned President Donald Trump's decision to deploy the National Guard in the nation's capital, Bowser. While speaking, the newsman described Trump's decision as unsettling and unprecedented as it sought to reassert the city's government's control over the police department. According to the police department, organizational structure has not changed, pushing back on the narrative painted by the president at a news conference earlier in the day of a federal takeover in the city. Recall President Donald Trump announced he will place the District of Columbia Police under direct federal control and deployment, and deploy the National Guard to help reestablish law and order to tackle homelessness and crime. Separately, Colombian president or presidential candidate Maguel Ryan has died 3 months after being shot a campaign rally. Perhaps family made the announcement in a statement as the attack rekindled fears of a return to the nation's violent past. According to his doctors, despite signs of progress in recent weeks, he had suffered a new brain damage. The 39-year-old conservative senator, a grandson of former President Julio Casa, was shot in the head and leg on June 7th at the rally in the capital, Bogota, by a suspected 15-year-old hitman. Meanwhile, following a nationwide manhunt, police announced the arrest of an alleged mastermind behind the attack, Jose Anades, alias El Costello. Just listening to Global Box and Adamimogo 107.7 up next. 107.7 FM, Igwe. Coming up next, US China extend trade truce to avert tariff hikes. You join us again.
Hello, good people of the for your political, public, of government, and the mind. Now, the video 100. Yes, Oladoyin Ayegbusi 107.7 FM's company. Quality ample package space, good security, clean environment. You also have the opportunity to work for a media publicity on our past social media apps. All these at Oladoyin Quality. Or call the following numbers for more inquiries: 0803 124 08078 0806 1430 or 0806 3808891 at Adamimogo. Even call, we are waiting for your bitterness.
Our channel, follow us on Facebook by Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Wait for happenings and viewings inquiries. Please contact our newsroom on 0915 786 8095. Now for the rest of the videos. The US and China have extended their trade truce for another 90 days, just hours before the world's two biggest economies were set to hike tariffs on each other. According to the White House, the latest truce extension will need more time for further negotiations about remaining trade and trade imbalances and unfair trade practices. Recall that on Monday, the US President Donald Trump signed an executive order to continue the truce until 10th November, while Beijing also announced it would extend its tariffs course. This means the US will hold its levy on Chinese imports at 30%, while China will keep a 10% tariff on American goods. Australia's Prime Minister has accused his Israeli counterpart, Benjamin Netanyahu, of being in denial over the consequences of the war in Gaza. Speaking to the Australian Broadcaster Corporation today, Albanese said he had spoken to PM Netanyahu last Thursday to inform him of the Australians' decision.
Reiterate to me what he has said publicly as well, which is to be in denial about the consequences that are occurring for innocent people. The Netanyahu government strategy is just to keep going.
Recall that Anthony Albanese on Monday announced this country would recognize the Palestinian state at the UN General Assembly in September, following similar move by the UK, France, and Canada. American singer and songwriter Taylor Swift has announced her 12th studio album, Life of the Showgirl, after an intense 24 hours of speculation from fans. The title of the album was announced on social media with a clip from Claire Kel's podcast and simultaneously made available for the other Swift's official website. Rumor began on Monday morning when the singer's marketing team posted a carousel of 12 photos with the caption "Thinking about" when she said "See you next era." Meanwhile, the official release date for the new music is yet to be confirmed. And finally, on sport, Italian Orientia Mafia has died after collapsing during the World Games in China last week. According to the statement by the World Games organizers, Italian died today despite receiving immediate expert medical care at one of China's leading medical institutions. He passed away. The 29-year-old was found unconscious by organizers during an orienteering event last Friday. Meanwhile, The cause of his death is yet to be ascertained. The World Games is a multi-sport event held every 4 years for events that are not listed in the Olympics. And with that sports story, when this edition of Global Boxing at Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Enjoy it. Just before we go, the highlight again. We told you that here in Nigeria, panic has gripped the African Democratic Congress ADC as the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission EFCC targets key members of the 2027 coalition who are working to unseat President Bola Tinubu for the 2027 election. We also brought to you that the European Council has backed the Ukrainian freedom, saying that the people must have the freedom to decide their future. And finally, we reported that the US and China have extended their trade truce for another 90 days, just hours before the world's two biggest economies were set to hike tariffs on each other. That's Global Box this afternoon on Adamimogo 107.7 FM. Do join us again by 3 p.m. on News and Brief. My name is Oladoyin Ayegbusi. Good afternoon and thanks for listening. None of you, both of you, would have how many minutes? 13 minutes. Okay.